Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Ethan here at DRC TV. A little surprise, a little something came in the mail the other day. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it says 10 cavity, 3.25 NED LEECH. I'll go ahead and open this up here and give you my first impressions. I got some plastic already warming up. I've got a plain orange here with just a little bit of sparkle pearl in it, and then we're gonna make the base. We're gonna try to do a horse leech or like a swamp leech or whatever. They're like a brown top with orange dots, and then the belly is orange. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this guy cut open here. Pretty crisp, no damage or anything that I can see. They usually send their stuff pretty well packaged. This is the first open. This is the first time I'm seeing this in person also. This is going to be our new leech bait that we offer for the website. Look at that right there. That thing is absolutely gorgeous. Seamless. Love it. So for today's video, I got a friend of mine that wanted a custom color, like I say, that horse leech thing. That's not going to be something we regularly offer on the website, but it's something that if you want to make it yourself, this will be your how-to, or if you want to order that from us, it's something that I have some experience in. I've already made that color one other time in a Senko. It turned out like alright, but a Senko doesn't have as big of a canvas that I'd like to have for pouring those droplets. I ended up using like a tip of a drop shot worm, dipping it in plastic. It was just a pain. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this up. Once this plastic gets done heating, we'll go ahead and make our base color. All right. So I just checked my GoPro and the batteries are dead. And this is a 7 silver, so you can't change batteries. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this guy. So it looks like I'm just using the big camera for today. If you're new here and you think this is something that you'd be interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that thumbs up, and that'll, if you put your notifications on, if you click the bell, it'll just inform you every time I upload a new video, so you won't miss out on any new content. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so I'm starting here with a cup of clear. That's going to be our top part of the laminate. And I've got some orange here, also 1 cup. This is just some dead-on orange, just plain orange, with some Lureworks sparkle pearl in it to give it a little bit of sheen. So to go ahead and mix our base, we're going to start off with some black. This is Lurecraft black. I'm going to go ahead and add 5 drops of that. Get that all stirred in. That should get me pretty dark. And then I'm going to go ahead and break into this super old dead-on dark melon. We used this a lot when we were doing watermelon colored baits, but nobody seemed to want to buy them up, so we ended up taking them off the website. Definitely still an option if you want to have some made. You're just going to have to contact me directly through my cell or through direct message. So we're going to go ahead and add about 10 drops of this black melon or dark melon. And then we're going to add a little bit of this Lurecraft green pumpkin color. And shake that up. Set this camera down. Probably somewhere's in the ballpark of about 10 drops to 15 drops of that green pumpkin-y color in there. that right there is just about the right color. So first step is going to be to go ahead and do our hand pour portion of this bait. So we're going to take our glove here and grab our cup of orange, right? And we're going to actually, you know what, I'm going to double up here because I'm going to have to keep my hand pretty steady through this and try not to get ridiculous amounts of plastic inside that mold that don't belong there. Anyways, we'll go ahead and grab this orange, and I'm just going to put little blotches of it on this bait, little droplets like so. Very time consuming to hand pour. That's why we don't offer anything that's hand pour on our website. It's just super inefficient. But I will say this, it is probably the most fun that you will have in your bait cave or shop or whatever you call it. So as you can see, well, maybe not, I'm doing my best here to keep you in the zone. I've got these little drops here, and I'm just going to go ahead and continue those across each bait. Try not to clump them up too bad here. And I don't want to make it, you know, overpowering. So you want to make sure you got drops going in there and not really anything like zigzagged lines or anything like that. I'm sure it would work, but we're going for as realistic as we can possibly get here. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to pull that glob out of there when it cools down and redo that guy. My brother is moving a tractor right now, which is super convenient. Great for the audio, I'm sure. Alright, this should be cool enough here. I'll peel that one out of there. Get a new set of drops in that guy. And then we should be ready to shoot here. Oh boy, I'm cutting that out for sure. Perfect. Alright, so here's a little bit closer look at what we've got going here. That is our pattern for the tops of these guys. I am going to add some sparkled pearl to this just because I want it to blend with that a little bit. And if you look at a leech in the wild, they do actually have sort of a like a sheen to them. They almost, like, even in the water they look wetter, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these guys in the position I want them in. Go ahead and close this mold up, remembering which side is my top. because you don't want to throw your orange on the orange on the side that you just put your orange dots on. So this side away from me is going to be green. Put this guy in the mold here. Grab my sparkle pearl. Go ahead and sauce some of that in that plastic. And you know what? I think I'm going to throw some chartreuse flake in there too, just because I think it'll look good in that. Just a little bit, nothing crazy. I'm going to go ahead and grab my knife. Stir that in there just a little bit. Alright, we're ready to shoot. Go ahead, grab my glove here. Dual injector, pre-lubed. Oh, almost forgot. Blending block. So remember, brown is going to be this direction. Go ahead and draw up my plastic. And steady pressure. And once I hit that point, I'm going to make sure that I stop and hold it for a second. I want to fill every void that's in this mold. I want to get rid of all my air bubbles if possible. And just make sure that there's no denting, there's no deformations, any of that kind of stuff. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. Top my sprue off here. Go ahead and empty my injectors back into the cups. And by now, my blending block is nice and cool. I'm going to go ahead and clean this out while I can. Flop those over there. Make sure you know the time on your blending block. Don't just immediately go in there and start pulling stuff out, especially barehanded, unless you know how long it takes to cool down. I've got a pretty good idea, but every one you get is going to be different. Some are going to cool faster than others. I should be good to go ahead and clean off the outside of my injectors. Definitely not the inside yet, but the outside. And by now, this mold should be should be good to go and crack open. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my sprue top off of there, and peel that guy out. Go ahead and flip it like this. And let's crack it open and see what it looks like. Hey guys, what is going on? Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little bit of time lapse and some slow-mo footage there. This is just one more look here at these baits. That is how those horse leech ones turned out. Turned out pretty good. I hit these ones in the back where you don't notice the cold cracking line there. What I ended up doing to those is while the mold was in half, I ended up hitting it with a heat gun just a standard heat gun, until the mold, I could feel the heat coming through my glove, and then I brought it over here, put the mold back together, and ended up shooting it. And they turned out way better with this one. I don't know if that's really conveying or not, but you can kind of see some lines around the dimples there. And I mean, I'm not led to believe that they would come off by how they feel in my hand, but you never know, and that's not something you want to do to people, is just have all your shit falling apart. So there's those. They turned out super cool, and then I ended up shooting some St. Lawrence Goby ones too. These are going to be for our pro staff boys. Obviously there's not quite enough, but I'm running out of time for tonight. I got to end up shooting home, but they turned out pretty good. I think that should be a killer bed fishing bait, and definitely during the mid-season when they start really feasting on the flats and stuff. The water's cold again this year, and I know a lot of people don't really agree with fishing bass on beds, but when it's legal and it's in the season in New York, the way the seasons are rigged is like completely backwards. They don't really get on the beds until the season opens, and it's definitely something that people do, especially when it's just little males sitting on the beds and you just want to go out there and fish for funds when they're garden fry. These should really get them going. And then I ended up shooting some pro shots too, just because the molds are the same height and I had enough plastic. So that's what I ended up doing for today. If you have any questions on anything that you saw, please leave a comment. I'd love to have a conversation with you guys, or just get a hold of me through social media. You can message me on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Conversations with people that follow me and think what I do is interesting are always great. I love hearing from you guys. If you have any questions on where to get that mold, I'm going to leave a link in the description below so that you can pick up that mold. It is the 10 cavity. They also offer, I believe, a 6 cavity and a 2 cavity. So like for the budget buyer or budget bait maker or whatever, I'm